Hello YouTube friends. Here's another comparison of various traps. These are rat traps. So let me point them out to you. This is a typical Victor right here. And actually these are some of my favorite traps right there. This is also a Victor, but this is, I think they call that a Victor Professional. Now these are a few more of the same Victors. This is the Better Rodent Trap. And this one, I think they call it a KNESS Manufacturing. And then it says Albia, Iowa is where those are made. And then my last trap here is the boxed Doc 250 or 200. I think these are 200s in here. Yeah, Doc 200s. There's the little term right there. So all of these traps I've been using to go after rats. And this year has been a particularly high rat year in New Zealand. And so it gave us a really good example of going after rats and comparing rat traps. Okay, so the first one I want to point out is my all-time favorite trap, and that's the basic Victor right here. And these traps, if you keep them dry, they will just catch rats night after night after night after night. They're oh my gosh, they are so lethal to the rats. But if you look at, like, let's say that trap right there, now that trap's been out in the weather for probably about 4 months, and we've had some pretty heavy rains that have been going on. That trap right there has been inside of a garage, so you can kind of see the difference. This is a 4 or 5 month old trap. At the same time, these guys here, these plastic traps, now they've been out in the weather and they don't show any signs of weathering. Now, my favorite thing about this type of a trap is how easy they are to set. That's it right there. And let me, here, I'll put it on that one. Okay, so you put your bait right inside that little cup right there. And putting your bait inside that cup is really kind of nice because the rats, to get to the bait, they kind of crawl over this little pedal right here. And so these have been really good for outside traps. They're probably running, I'm going to say, because I've been running one of these next to one of these, and I'm going to say that these nest traps here are running probably 80%, which is pretty good. And that they're not corroding, and that they look like they're using stainless springs in there, because I would have expected those springs to start to go bad. Because like you can see these Victor springs here, they're starting to show, not that one, but like that one and that one. They're starting to show a little bit of corrosion. This one here is the Better Rodent Trap. Now, I had a friend, he told me you shouldn't say anything negative about anything, ever. He was trying to give me this explanation. So I was thinking about, well, how would you talk about your Better Rodent Trap? I think I've gotten one rat in that trap, and I've had that trap now for maybe 2 years. And I almost put it out religiously just to prove that it doesn't catch rats. And I always put it next to another trap. And you'll see there's another YouTube video about the Better Rodent Trap. And it just hasn't caught anything. Now that's different than the mouse trap. I have also a few of the Better Rodent mouse traps. And the Better Rodent mouse traps are hitting. So I don't know why the Better Rodent Trap is not hitting like the same design, the same company mouse trap. And so anyway, so I thought of something positive to say about that. If you don't like cleaning rats out of traps, which is kind of like a daily thing, then that is the trap for you right there. Okay, so now we go back to the Victors. Something I want to point out about the Victors, a lot of people don't know. See, there's an S right there, if that's focusing, and there's a F for firm and soft. So when you set this trap, you can slide that trigger, you can slide the trip arm from one side to the other, to give you a firm or softer setting. So if you come out and you find that your bait is gone, you can put the little trip rod over on that side, and you'll get a softer hit. The other thing you can do also is you can put some peanut butter right on this outside edge, because what happens is the mice will come, and if the mouse doesn't have enough weight, it won't set off. It won't set off the rat trap. Now, there's big rats and little rats. So these rat traps, you can hear those tuies in the background. That's a New Zealand native bird here. They're quite happy. I think they come out and thank me when I get rid of the rats, because the rats eat their eggs. And you get rid of the rats and the possums, and that the tuies just come out and sing for you. So that's a very nice thing. Okay, so now we come over here to the Victor. I think somebody said that might have been a Victor Professional. Is there a oh, this is where I was getting these from. is the Dead Rat Company. And they gave me this trap for free to test out. And so there's their information right there. Carol at grantleyimports.co.nz. They probably have, I didn't really know them before I was buying this particular round of traps. I just saw them come up on Trade Me, and they had the best prices for Victor's. And if I have my choice, I've got another trap around here. It's one of the Chinese versions, and it's like a Chinese copy of the Victor. And I was just looking around to see if it was right there, and they just come to bits. They just fall apart. I mean, you think about that. That has been just out in the field. Those were next to these right here. That one and that one, or it might be that one and that one. Anyway, they were next to a potato field that I have, and I put one on each end of the potato field, kind of just before harvest. And I was getting a rat a night in each one of them, and because the rats get called into the potatoes, and so that was a good long stretch of kills. So back to this Victor right here. Not showing much corrosion. Got a little bit going right there. Super easy to set, which I why is that not setting now? Oh, that's probably there it goes. Okay, super easy to set, which that's my favorite thing about that style of trap. They're not as much of a hitter as these guys. These guys, I mean, that if you're looking for the most lethal trap, it's these guys. If you're looking for a trap that you can store out in the weather, it's going to be one of these plastic guys right here, one of these Ness, or that Victor right there. The other thing about this type of a plastic trap right here is they don't tend to have a lot of false trips. See, and that's kind of a nice thing. See, these guys over here, they're easy to, they get knocked around and you got them in your garage, that type of thing. You notice each one of them has a line. You got to have a line on these. And that's kind of a little bit of a thing. See, this one here, they give you a spot there where the trip arm is that you can tie a piece of line. This one gives you a spot right there. These guys, they don't really give you that much. That one there, maybe that's the spot. See, I've been tying them on that little piece right there, and I always wonder if that affects the tripping. Okay. But anyway, you gotta tie off your traps, because the rats will be half alive and they'll try to get away, and another rat will try to come by and grab them and drag them away. This is my last trap right here, and these. If there was ever a governmental designed trap, it's these guys right here. See, they have a little spot over here where the rat's supposed to come in, and then he makes a little zigzag turn and comes over to that hole, walks across that little paddle, and that huge spring comes down and whap! And they just get crushed in there. I'm going to say that these are, the only thing less lethal is the Better Rodent trap. And one of the things that they do is that if this one goes off, then that one there, like 50% of the time, will vibrate and snap also. And if you hear one out there, you'll hear it go, snap, snap. Just like that. If you, you're sitting inside and a rat comes onto that one, you'll hear it go. And that one just kind of goes as a sympathy snap or something, because the vibrations set it off. The big advantage of these is that they don't tend to catch birds. Well, that's what they say. But I have the birds. They come right through there and right through there, and then they get snapped. And so that one, it just kind of like always wrecks my head, because you're going through all this trouble of this whole box system right here, and this top swings around not to catch birds, and then they still catch birds. These traps here, I religiously go out every morning first thing. See, I got them here next to the feed containers, and so the rats are just naturally drawn because there's all kinds of free food right here. So I keep a couple traps next to the next to the stock containers all the time, and I religiously go out and untrip these traps in the morning. And if I don't, by 10 or 11 o'clock, I'll have caught, normally probably a little brown sparrow, and some people say that's a good thing, but I don't want to catch any birds in the trap. So I have to untrip all of these, and I go back around, and that gives me something to do. I get a little walk in the morning and get to catch the property and all that. So okay, so that's it. That's our little Cub Cadet. That's a great little lawnmower with a roto hoe right on the back of it. And I'm looking to see if I can find the Tuies in the background. Okay, so that's it from the rat trap comparison test. Okay, good luck, guys. I hope you're catching a lot of rodents out there.